Hi again, everyone. Miss Tiffany here, sharing something with you that I really like to do in the classroom with preschool age kids. Something simple, something you can do at home easily, assuming you have access to nature materials. This past week in my classroom, we were busy outside collecting rocks. Not just any rocks, really flat rocks. Something I like to set up for kids is a rock stacking provocation. It's something that helps their fine motor. It's a math, open-ended activity, science, all those kind of things come together, and it can be really fun for the kids to try to figure out how to stack these rocks. So the kind of rocks we've collected, these are the ones from my classroom I brought home. Some are the smooth, flat rocks. Others are more kind of ragged, square flat rocks. As I collected them with the kids, I kind of talked through whether or not they would work. So I didn't have to take in every single rock, especially if they were really round. What I would often do if they found one that they were uncertain about is I would take one of the flat ones I had and kind of test it out. So this one is a little bit more round, but when I tested it, it did stack on top. So we could keep those rocks. Other rocks we took back, gave back to the yard, so we didn't end up with a giant pile of rocks. So there's two ways, kind of culturally, rocks have been stacked. Not only two ways, but two ways I like to talk to the kids about. The first is through rock cairns that they may or may not have seen hiking around New England or on other hikes. We talk about that these are landmarks, trail markers. They may mark where something's buried. So this is one way they could practice stacking the rocks in kind of a straight pile. Another really neat rock formation we talk about are Inukshuks. So this is something that is from the Canadian Inuit Native American culture. These are kind of cool because they are people-shaped. Again, these are landmarks. They were often used as kind of ancient road signs for people to know where to go and where they were going. Some really look like people. Others can be kind of more interpretive, like this one, where you can kind of see the legs and head, but are not quite as distinct as these. So those are two different kind of ways you could go about stacking your rocks. Or they could make a giant pile, they could make a pyramid. They can really do whatever they want. The point is they're having fun. Maybe they're counting the rocks as they go. Maybe they're learning about physics because their rocks aren't stacking and they're falling over. Learning about construction, all those kind of things. Task persistence, the list goes on forever. So what I have here set up, which you may be able to imitate at home, is finding some sort of tray. Even a cookie sheet or something will work. I've padded my tray with some soil. If you have soil at home, there's dirt outside you could collect. If you have sand, any of those things just to kind of give it a little bit of a softer, more malleable bottom will help. And then kind of let your kids go at it. As they're figuring it out, they'll probably learn that if you put the tiny ones on the bottom first and the big ones on top, it's not much is going to happen. It's going to fall over. So feel free to give them guidance if you want to start. Like, if I was building, I might want to put the big ones on bottom because the big ones are heavy and really stable before I add more on top. And then once you kind of give that very loose guidance, you can kind of step back and just see what they do. This really is a child-directed activity that you don't need to be too involved in. It's kind of fun though for adults to do it. It can be kind of relaxing to see how many you can stack, what different designs you could make. Again, as they're stacking, if you want it to be more of a structured kind of math opportunity for them, you could do more prompting as far as counting, comparing the sizes, talking about shape, how heavy they may be, which ones might be lighter or heavier. Those kind of conversations make it more structured. But if you need something for your kids to kind of do independently, this is another chance for them to do that too. I've provided two links again on this video. One is a neat kind of description of Inukshuks, and it has some cool videos of giant ones that are built up in Canada. And the other is a read aloud of a book of Inukshuks as well. So I did order one to read for the kids. I haven't gotten it yet, but this is kind of a folktale about the Inuit culture and how Inukshuks were used. So there's a link to that read aloud as well. So hope you enjoy. Thanks.